Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is finally prep day for the S2000. I'm going to go over some of the things that we're going to do today. I'm not going to paint today, I'm going to paint tomorrow, so that will be a separate video. But what I'm going to show you all today is how I'm actually going to install the bumper. I do have to give a disclaimer about the vicrez bumper, and I've actually spoken with some representatives from vicrez recently over email regarding the bumper. I did have an issue with the bottom edge of the bumper that would normally attach to the splash guards on the S2000 was not coming all the way to the actual splash guards. You know, you got the 8 or 9 bolts that come through on the bumper clips. It was about 2 inches away. So I asked them, I sent them an email one day. I said, hey listen, everything else fits perfectly with this bumper on the S, but I'm having a problem with it not actually reaching the splash guards so that I can put the bolts in. So I sent them a message. They said, we're really sorry about the inconvenience, we'll figure out what's going on. And basically the next day they emailed me back, said the S2000 Type J bumper that we have was actually modeled after a JDM style car. Apparently there's a different length of splash guards on the JDM models. But they were extremely nice, kind of explained to me what was going on, and I knew from that point that I could make something work out of it. And at first I thought I was going to do maybe some metal brackets or something like that, but I decided, you know, if it's plastic on plastic, I don't want to have a metal bracket between there. I was really afraid of just something moving too much and the metal breaking or whatever. So actually what I decided, and bear with me on this because it is going to be a little strange, just a simple Rubbermaid wastebasket. This was $4.97 at Home Depot. Okay, Rubbermaid, whatever. I was trying to figure out where I could get just a sheet of polyurethane, and I couldn't find any place around here that just had like a sheet of polyurethane about the size of the bottom edge of the bumper. My thought process on this is that I'm going to basically create an extra lip on the bottom of the bumper that will then attach to the splash guards that are currently on the S. Now, the way I'm going to actually attach the plastic from this, and what I'm going to do is actually cut around the bottom edge here and around the top edge here, so that I'll essentially have a big sheet. Now, I did buy 2 of those baskets, so I actually have a sheet here. So as you can see, it's a sheet, and it's been sitting out in the sun, so it's warmed up and it's flattened out pretty well. So you can see here, basically just a big sheet of polyurethane. It's about an 1/8 of an inch thick. It's basically the same material that the bumper's made out of. So it already is exactly what is already on the car. And I know it seems really rigged up, but this is what I'm going to do to solve the problem. And I don't really see any kind of a major issue by using this. If it gets hot, it's a little flexible, gives plenty of flex, but not too much. And obviously the rigidity is more for front and back this way, so it's not going to be doing a whole lot of twisting or anything, or giving up a lot of movement. Obviously on a front bumper you got a lot of air hitting it, and you don't want to have the bottom edge flapping in the breeze like a 1993 LTD. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use. I actually got 2 baskets there. This is the one I just showed you. You just cut it out, top and bottom, and you get this sheet here. And what I'm going to use, as you can see in the picture here, I'm going to use some rivets. These are aluminum rivets. They are 1/2 inch by 3/16. Okay. I have my little pop rivet gun here. I actually used this to put my top on a couple years ago. And I actually have 2 different sizes. These big washers here, they're I think 1.25 inches. These will actually go on the bottom edge of the bumper. This will go like this. It will go through the bumper. Then it will go through my new sheet of plastic that I made out of the wastebasket. And then this will go on top of it all, this smaller washer here. And then I'll pop rivet it all together, making that essentially one large piece. Now once again, like I said, vicrez was extremely helpful with this. They have watched a few of my videos and are excited to see the finished product. I'm excited to show them the finished product, and I'll show you the bumper real quick as to where I have it right now and what I've actually used to prep it. They have instructions that come with the bumper, no problem. And if you saw my other video, you saw it was all folded up into a big box. All I had to do was sit it outside for maybe 30 minutes in the heat, and it came out and came to the exact shape of the front of the S. It's pretty phenomenal on what they could do with plastic and have it actually pop back out in shape. But let me show you real quick where we stand on the bumper itself. It's not on the car. I was just test fitting it the other night. So let's take a look at it and show you what I got. Okay, just real quick, I want to show you guys exactly why I'm having to put that extra ledge of plastic under here. As you can see, everything fits. I did fill in some just little rock chips and dents and whatnot. That was pretty easy. Thousands of videos online for that. As you can see, the fitment still absolutely fantastic. That will obviously have a bolt in it here, and we'll bring it up. Perfect here, perfect here, perfect here. I don't have any of the bolts in though, but you can see the edge here. Very nice fitment. There is a way to adjust this gap here, which I will need to do on this side. Basically, there's a bracket under the headlight that will move a little bit. So what you have to do is, there's 2 bolts over here, and there's 2 bolts over here. And just loosen them up and move it down a little bit. It's not an exact science, but just kind of move it down a little bit and try it, move it down a little bit and try it. It doesn't take long to get it right. The other side obviously looks good. I might have to bring this side down a little bit. As you can see, it's really close to the light and actually touching it there. It's not the bumper's fault. It's just I had the headlights out to replace the light bulb the other day for the parking light, and I guess I just messed with it too much, but I will fix that. Obviously, the fitment on this side is still fantastic. I mean, look at that. You really can't ask for anything better from an aftermarket bumper right there. Look at that. Looks really good. I'm extremely pleased with it. But so all this stuff lines up. This is what I am referring to. You may be able to see that. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you see, let me see if I can line it up. Right in the middle of the screen there is where the normal bumper. Golly, I can't even keep it light. Anyways, so it's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches off. Normally the bumper, the OEM bumper will attach to those bolt holes, as you can see when I line it up. Please excuse my camera. It is not really meant for video, but it takes decent video. Anyways, so now you kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to pop that back off. I took that off just now. That is the last time it will ever be on this car. We'll say bye-bye to that. Oh yeah, the tow hook hole, the OEM tow hook cover will not fit into this, but I am going to use the actual tow hook as a mounting point for a license plate bracket, which you can get on Amazon or eBay or anything like that for a little over 40 bucks for a good one. There's cheaper ones on there for like 20, 25, but a lot of thumbs down reviews on those. So I'm going to pop this back off. We'll get the plastic drawn up and cut down to size, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so you see how I have this set up. My plastic is actually laying underneath the bottom of the Type J bumper. I have a piece of chalk. Obviously it's a black plastic, it's probably the easiest thing to use. And I'm basically just going to trace the outline, and that'll be one of my cut edges. Now what I want to do is have about 2 inches overlapping here. Okay, so this right here is about, what is that, about 4 inches? Yeah, it's about a 4 inch. It's about a 4 inch overlap, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and mark this edge now, so I know where to actually cut, and then I'll have about 1.5 inches overlay here, and then 2 3/4 inches or whatever, 2.5 inches coming off of here. So let's see if this works, right? So this is just the basic outline of what I'm going to cut, if you can see that. Now, does this have to look pretty? No, absolutely not. It's under the car and it's just a purely functional piece to make sure that the bottom of the bumper doesn't flap around too much. Now, could I run it without this? Yeah, probably, but you know what? I'd rather just go ahead and do it all the way if I'm going to do it, right? Let's go ahead and cut this out. All right, so I'm going to lay this on the ground and just use a razor blade. Obviously, be very careful. I shouldn't have to tell you guys that when you're using razor blades. And like I said, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I don't want a whole bunch of excess, but I do want enough to actually be functional. So I'll just follow the lines that I created as much as I can follow them. Alright. Now obviously I have to make another one. And what I should be able to do is just copy this onto the other piece of plastic / trash can. On this bottom edge here, I just kind of cut all the way through so that I can trim it up here and there. Alright, so I'm going to take my new piece of plastic, and if you get the Type J bumper, now let me just reiterate, this is for the Type J bumper from Vicrez that I'm using for my car. So if you're interested in getting that bumper, this is probably one of the things you're going to have to do unless they decide to give you that extra lip on there, which maybe they will. I do want to give a shout out to Benjamin Vicrez, I believe is his name. He's a gentleman that's been helping me out with this and kind of give me an idea of what's going on and what I'm going to have to do. And is say they watch my videos. And Ben Vicrez from Vicrez, maybe you have something to do with that name. Sounds like it does. I don't know. But I do appreciate everything you've helped me with the past few days with the emails, and just let me know, what I really should be doing. So I appreciate that. So shout out to Vicrez and Ben. On this bumper right here, there's actually a center line from part of the mold. And what I did is I just lined up this edge of the plastic with that when I marked it. So that's where I'm starting from. So there will be two edges here. So this is basically what I'm going for. It's going to sit in here. I'm going to drill a hole. And it'll give me this extra little lip here to put onto the splash guards of the S. So now you kind of see where I'm going with this, right? I'm just making an extra little lip. It's going to be on the inside. You'll never see it. I'll still be able to unbolt the bumper from the front of the car if I need to. So yeah. Okay, let's see. It's really hot outside today, by the way. It rained 3 days straight and it was like 50, and now it's 85 and sunny and hot. So just need to do a little bit more trimming. See where I might need to cut it. Let's just try cutting it across here. All right, well, I'm not going to lie, that looks pretty good to me. So if I take this and just kind of show you where it's going to be here. So I'm digging that. I think I'm going to go trace this around the other piece of plastic real quick. All right, I got both sides mocked up. So are you guys starting to get the idea here? Right here is one side, right here is the other. Obviously they're going to actually come on the top of the inside of the bumper here. So I guess now I have to mark drill holes. And I'm going to have to try to figure that one out. Okay, so here's what I've decided to do. The washers I am using, these are 1 1/4 inch, and they will actually go on the bottom side of the bumper itself. But I want to know where to actually drill the holes. So I have the plastic mocked up to where it's going to be, and I'm going to use 8 locations, 4 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, if you can see that. My camera doesn't focus automatically. All I'm doing is I'm using the washer to see where it needs to be placed, which will be right on the edge essentially. And I'm just using my handy dandy Dremel with a regular drill bit on it and just making a mark where I want to actually drill. So once I do that, then I'll actually go all the way through, because it actually looks like it's sitting pretty level right now. So I'll go all the way through, and then we'll start putting the rivets and washers and whatnot on it and see how well that works. Or if I actually got the right size rivets. We'll see. Safety first. Alright, so as you can see, I've now flipped the bumper over, and all I'm doing is extending the holes on the other side of the bumper, all 8 of them. And I will now attempt to attach the plastic here. I should be able to just line up the holes and roll with it. So I have my aluminum rivet, a zinc washer, another smaller zinc washer which will go on the inside. Put these together because I want the pretty part on the actual bottom of the car, so that you won't actually see the part where it flares. And now it should be semi-straight enough to run this down through the plastic. If it's a little tight, that's fine. I can always wall it out there. No, that's fine. Okay. I'll slide the extra plastic into there as well. There we go. Then the other washer. Oh yeah, I think that should work out really well. So now once it flares, it breaks, hopefully we'll do it properly. Alright, so I got one side done. Rivet, 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 and our new extra piece of plastic. It's funny, they feel almost identical as far as, you know, this might be a little more flexible, but I'm okay with that. At least it gives a front and rear protection, and it's not going to do this going down the road. So let me go ahead and do the other side. It's a little bent over, but that's okay. We'll do the other side, and then we're going to put it on the car. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the final product. As you can see, they are nicely attached, and they give me enough room to play with to actually attach it to the car itself. Now, I will say that vicrez recommends professionals do this kind of installation because, well, they probably know a better way to do it. I was able to do it for under $20 to make this actually work. And like I said, the actual fitment of the bumper itself is absolutely beautiful and perfect. And once again, I want to thank vicrez for that. I will now attempt to get it on the car for good. I do still have to actually figure out where the holes will be for the splash guards, but that'll be easy enough, and we will continue after that. Guys, one more thing before I go any further. This little bracket here you will need to take off of your old bumper. It's a 10mm bolt right here. It actually slides out from the other side. And what I can suggest for you to do, and what I did, was I took a piece of cardboard and outlined this here with all of the little holes and notches and whatnot that I would need. So this notch here, this hole here, it's not a hole here, but this slit, this slat right here, and the hole needed for this bolt. And I just matched it up to this area here on the vicrez bumper and just kind of marked it in with some silver marker, and basically took my Dremel and just kind of dremeled it out. So you might need to fiddle with that a little bit to make it fit just right, but I really didn't have to fiddle with it a whole lot. I might have spent 10 minutes on it. So that side and that side, both the same. Other than that, you can see where I dremeled, boom, 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 boom. You can actually see on the bumper itself where you are supposed to dremel. So you'll have everything you need there. Now let's get it all in the car. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. That is the vicrez Type J bumper, polyurethane, fitted to the S2000, ready to go. All I have to do now is wash the car, and I begin the prep for the actual plastic dip itself. Now, as you can see, the fitment is spot on, and I have seen so many horror videos of, let's just say, other brands of bumpers that just don't line up whatsoever. I don't even know how you could make them work. I mean, you're talking 4-inch overhang on one side or the other, and it's really, really disgusting. But this bumper, like I said, vicrez. Ben, you helped me out a lot. I appreciate all the information. I hope you liked the video. I think it's going to look phenomenal when it does finally get some plastic dip on there. So Fonzie, I'm looking out for you. And man, that looks good. Just looks so good. I will say that the car actually looks a little high off the ground right now, although I did have to jack it up to get up under and make sure all the bolts were aligned with the clips on the splash shields. So I think that's probably why the suspension's a little higher than it normally is, so I gotta go drive it around. I am ecstatic. A little nervous about tomorrow, but very ecstatic about this. I think it looks absolutely great. I am so happy with the fitment. That's the one thing I was worried about, was how much trouble am I gonna have to go through to get this thing to look halfway decent. And to be honest, to make it look right, nothing. What I did today was just the reassurance of the bottom of the bumper not flapping around. As far as fitment goes, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You put a little sandpaper in some rough areas, you're good to go. Absolutely perfect. All right, so coming up soon will be the plastic dip video. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I hope if you were thinking about getting the Type J bumper from vicrez that I swayed you in that direction. I think it's phenomenal. They do have at least one more style bumper, maybe two. I don't remember off the top of my head. Man, I've got plastic all over my face. Why didn't y'all tell me that? Anyways, vicrez, highly, highly recommended. They will get a sticker somewhere on the car. I don't know, probably in the corner somewhere, but you know, I gotta rep them out. They help me out a lot. So you guys have a good night.